Hey guys, welcome back to the adventure called Life. My name is Jordan. So we are exactly where we left off. We're going to go ahead and sleep until the next day, and then we're going to talk about exactly what we're going to do um, here for the next 15 to 20 minutes, because this is part 2 of our Let's Play series through the valley. So, nice pretty morning. This is the house that we got done building last night. So, what we're going to do is kind of look over here, and it wants us to build a wooden sphere. So, let's go ahead, and we're going to go ahead and grab this, and we're going to craft more, and I will tell you, you're going to want to have more than one sphere. You do not want to sit there and have to try to pick stuff up, everything else. What I will tell you is we are going to run over here really quick first thing in the morning and go and check our rabbit trap to make sure that we actually have something in it. Sometimes you don't, so, but for the most part, watch, I'm not going to be able to find it, guys. Oh, found it. Oh, and we have a bunny in it. That's really cool. So, that is actually a really, really awesome thing. So we can arm that. You are only allowed to have one rabbit trap at a time in a specific area, which does kind of suck, but that is okay. We're just going to continue building, continue to move on. So here's another thing that I will say that I like doing is having a shovel, because we end up having other like options to be able to get some more logs. So basically, for every log or every stump that you see, you end up having the ability to get more logs to actually build with if you use the shovel. When we had about a year ago, okay, now I will tell you, this is the one thing I do not like about the game, and the reality of it is I can hunt rabbits like that, and to me, I feel like that's a massive issue, because in real life, like, that's part of the virtual reality aspect of it, that it's really not reality, because in real life I could not chase down a rabbit to save my life. But because I can't, that, it just is what it is. But I just don't like that aspect of it. If you do hear in the background any noise, that would be because that is my kiddo with my spouse. And that is perfectly fine, but they're gonna go ahead and head out of the room. But I just want to let y'all know that that's what that is. So anyway, they were sitting here watching me play, so we're gonna go ahead and collect all of these stumps and go ahead and get all of our stuff that we already did. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna go ahead and collect somewhere else, because if we find them, like I said, if we find them, you want to get them. But that's just my preference. I'm not saying that that's exactly how you play the game. I'm not saying that that's how you should play the game, but I will say that's exactly how I like to play the game. So we're gonna do this. Grab some more stone. So, and if you hear my dogs barking, it's because it's nighttime and they are being insanely ridiculous and want to bark at every little bitty thing, which is really annoying. If he barks again, then I'll have to excuse myself and go take care of that. Anyway, so we're back. I'm gonna have to go tell the dog to be quiet because he's barking at our neighbors who are currently just talking outside. So, which is totally fine, but I don't want an entire video of my dog barking because my dog will not end of it. which is his job, I get that, but it's not very conducive for a video. So I will say this is something I do like doing, is anytime I find clay, which I know there's a clay deposit, as I said in the last video, there's a clay deposit right by the house, but I like anytime I see clay is going in and getting it, because it is such a not vast resource. Now there are a couple of spots on the map that are very well known for clay. Wow, that was awesome option. Didn't even get it. But it doesn't mean that it's very easily resourced. Now what I will say is for the sake of some aspects of reality on this game, I am going to go ahead and take that back to the house and go ahead and keep that clay in my little empty chest area. Just because I don't need it. Offhand, I don't need it. So basically survive the season and talk to the wife. So let's go talk to his wife. Gather some sticks on the way. Ooh. Let's see. Oh. We'll take it. $7, not bad. Okay, so let's go talk to the wife in Gustovia. See how he's doing this fine morning, and go get a meal, because we have some aspects of a meal, but not a huge amount. So go talk to her. Oh, she's in a different spot than she has been in those times that I come up, but this is her right here.
I like when it's time to pay taxes.
Andrew told me that you were going to pick me up some food, and I haven't eaten in a proper meal in weeks. That's right, nice to meet you too, Resmier. What are you used to me? Well, it depends on what proper means to you, but I can offer you something warm and filling. That sounds more than amazing. There you go. Now tell me about yourself. How do you know my husband? There's nothing much to say. I've just arrived at the valley looking for my uncle Lord. Didn't expect to be done searching so quickly, to be honest. Oh yes, he was Unigoth's friend. I remember not hearing that he had eyes just like yours. I'm sorry for your loss. That's okay. I don't even remember him really. Most that I know about him is from my mother's stories. She's always looked up to him. Big brother, loved him furiously even when he stopped visiting. A lot of people did, from what I heard. There was something special about him. Yeah, tough shoes to fill, huh? The only shoes that you need to worry about is filling your own. Every man is the architect of his own fortune. Thank you for saying that. It's what I needed to hear, but let's not talk about that anymore. What's your story? I was part of a traveling band of troubadours. I've never managed to learn how to play any instrument, but I was pretty decent with my singing. Our travels brought us to the valley no longer after the death of your uncle. I still remember seeing Unigoth for the first time. He had so much sadness in his eyes. Lorden wasn't just a friend of his, he was a part of him. The band left a few days ago. I stayed. There was something. A few days later, I stayed. There was something in Unigoth's presence that I simply knew my place was by his side. You probably noticed the age difference. No, not really. What are you implying? That I look old? Nothing of the sort. Anyway, so it looks like you were anchored here by love. That's pretty amazing.
Well.
Yeah, you could call it that, or blindness, or stupidity, poor judgment, maybe, whatever sounds best to you. Pretend all you like. You fell hard for the grandpa with sad eyes, and you know it. I did. He annoys me sometimes, like nobody else. Yet I can't imagine breathing without him now. But I don't let me go all soft on you. You've surely got some places to go. It was a pleasure talking with you, Domerga, every second of it. Here I know it's too much, but it could come in handy when you're starting a new life. Everything costs coins these days. I really appreciate that, but I'm not looking for charity. I'll manage. Oh, come on, don't try to be a hero. Men, all right, do something for me then. It won't be a handout, just your first pay. Then I can agree. What do you need? There's a farmer in a village. She's called Jirgawana. She usually sells supplies at the tavern with rye, but I haven't gotten anything from her in a while. My stock is almost gone, and you don't even want to imagine what happened to these people who run out of beer. Consider it done. Of course, here you go. Great, thank you. He promised to tell me some stories about Lorden. Oh, I see. Well, in that case, Thank you. Okay. So, basically, I kind of know what we're walking into, and I will tell you it stinks, because basically, I will go talk to him. But like I said, I kind of have an idea of what we're walking into, so let's go. Rishmir! Hey, Unigast, you're looking at the proud house owner from the valley. I am back bearing beers. Oh, job well done indeed. All right, let me wet my throat with this amber goodness and start reminiscing. I knew Gordon from 22 years before he died. He was my best friend and truest friend and brother. Actually, I remember the day we met as if it was yesterday. I was 25 at the time, living in the big city of Jellenberg, where I was born. You could say I hated that place, but it still was the only home I'd ever known. Only home I'd ever knew. Maybe someday I'll tell you more about that. Anyway, I was forced to take care of my own, so I did, doing the only thing I could do, stealing. You were a thief? I was, and a bloody good one if I might say. Picking pockets was my bread and butter. I could steal a piece of steak right from your fork, and you wouldn't even notice. It wasn't greed that motivated me, just survival, but I'll be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the process. Stealing is still a crime no matter the motivation. I'd say you want to wait here and hear a bit before getting all high and mighty on me. Oh, I'm sorry, go on. We had an annual festival at Dollenberg. It was always brought a whole bunch of outsiders to town. You can imagine what that meant for a man in my profession. I could do a day's worth of work in a matter of minutes. I grabbed a few coins here and there, some jewelry, a few pairs of new boots, and then I saw a nobleman with a money bag strapped to his belt. It was basically begging to be set free. I sneaked behind him in the crowd like I did 1,000 times before. Child's play. I gently grabbed his pouch, did a little shimmy magic, and there it was, sitting neatly in my palm. Just needed to be turned around and disappear like always, and then wham! What happened? I was punched in the face by what felt like a bull. I was so shocked I didn't even realize what happened until I hit the ground. My head was pounding and I could barely see straight, and I didn't know what was the first thing I saw next. Another blow coming? Ha ha ha, a smile, a big radiant smile on the face of the man with two different eyes. It was your uncle, Lord, the one I took for a nobleman. He stuck his hand out, helped me get up, and offered me a beer. Wait, he didn't even realize you were just trying to rob him, right? Of course he did. That's just how Lorden was. You see, your uncle was deadly clever, smartest man I've ever known, hands down. He could see the world like nobody else, predicting things you always at least a dozen steps ahead of anyone else. So on a rare occasion that somebody surprised him, he was intrigued. And he wasn't expecting you? Indeed, apparently, even despite my failure, I'm still the one that came to the closest to robbing him, and he liked that. So I'm guessing you accepted the invitation, right? I really didn't have a choice, did I? I was terrified of the guy at that moment, so we went. He took me to the most expensive and most crowded tavern in the whole town. Remember that it was the day of the festival. Even entering that place was next to impossible. He didn't even seem to care, though. In the matter of seconds, we were sitting at the table being served by two barmaids at the same time. It was surreal. In my mind, there was only one explanation. He owned the place. And did he? No, not at all. He was the first time in Jollenberg, and he felt like a dream, to be honest, especially with me still being dazed after a punch. I was still sure he was a nobleman. His manners, his clothes, the way he talked and moved, and then he chugged a beer like it was a race. Wiped the face with his sleeve and burped like a drum. He went from the lord to the savage like that. Snap of a finger. I relived the moment a dozen times until I realized why he did that. It wasn't a mistake. Oh no. No laziness, no moment of weakness. He wanted me to see it. Not to understand it. To understand it. Understand what? That he was full of crap. Ha ha ha. You see, Ristamir, your uncle was one of a kind. He was a true master of arms, and the weapons of his choice was his confidence. And what does that even mean? Imagine a closed door with two armed guards at its side, and you wanted what was inside. What are your options? You could force yourself in, bribe the guards, try to pick a lock, but Lorden, he just hold his head up high, walk right in, and demand the door be open. You're right, that all sounds surreal. I never knew that was about my uncle. My mother's stories were quite different. Let's go with that. Because I'm afraid she knew a quite different Lorden than everybody in the pack. Wait, the pack? Oh yeah, oh dear Mishmir, there's so much more you still don't know. Our story hasn't even begun, but it's getting late. Come on, you can't just leave me hanging like that. Alright, I'm going to tell you a bit more after the beer we had. We had a couple more than some mead, if I remember correctly. We were talking about our past, our dreams, convictions, started making some drunks and absurd plans. I thought we were joking, to be honest. The next thing I remember is waking up in silk sheets. I'm guessing they weren't yours, correct? Are you kidding? It was the first time I'd ever touched fabric like that. The ceiling in the chamber was too high. It was fit like a giant. I thought I was dreaming. The servants walked in. I was ready to flee, but instead of fighting me, they presented me with breakfast. Really? How come? It was all Lorden's doing. I'd never found how he managed to pull it off. Whenever I asked, he just burst into laughter, even years after. Needless to say, I left Johannesburg with him on that day. The first time I went outside of the town walls and never came back. That was the day the pack was born. And 3 years later, there was 5 of us, a real family, a real team, a family. We called ourselves the Reminders. Oh, I wish I would have been there. It was all sound incredible. I never had adventures like that, and probably never will. Oh, my boy. Easy, my boy. It wasn't always fun and lovely, but it is a tale for another time. It really did get late, and I'm sure you still have a lot of work to do. Come on, invite me tomorrow. We'll talk more from then. I'll do that. Thank you, Unigas, for everything. Okay, so we have to wait till the next day. So we have to survive the season. I am gonna go ahead because I know this is coming. I am going to, sorry, but you're a little too young for me. Okay, so she's older, and that means that she's not going to be interested in this. She is younger, so she is going to be interested in me. You seem very interesting. Can I ask you something? I've got a little something. So this is if you want to give a gift. This is if you want to ask them a specific question. So give me just a second with the dog, because I shouldn't have to be getting on with them again, but I'm going to.
I heard that you started your own village. Keep at it. The beginnings are always the hardest.
Today is pretty tiresome for me, but fruitfully nevertheless. How is your day going? I love the local cuisine here. What's your favorite food? We're gonna go with I love the local cuisine here. What's your favorite food? Or we could go with the do you have any brothers or sisters? This one will get us a negative. These two will give us a positive. Or if you want to leave, you leave. I would say the food. Fruits, I'd say honey and sweet, so we got a positive there, so you seem very interesting. You ask 3 questions a day. Do you have a favorite color? Mine's brown. I don't really know why. It's always been what made me feel safe. What's your biggest dream? You're gonna go with what's your biggest dream.
Of the cozy fire to make
so that you've got a positive on. Cool, we got more affection. Where did you come from? Tell me something about your birthplace. I'm permanently in love with this land. How do you like it here? That's the one you're gonna go with. So again, you're gonna get a +5. You're gonna get a +5 for a minute. Because of that, okay, spouse. Finding a wife is the first step to secure your dynasty survival. Your future spouse will move into your house and aid you in various tasks. One day, she may provide you with an heir, but nothing comes easy. First, you'll have to win her heart. Remember that you can turn off the tutorial in the settings, which I'm not gonna turn it off because this is part of it, is that we're teaching you how to play. So, basically, this is where we're at, is making decisions as far as building things. So I will tell you this. Remember what we talked about is that our house is right here. And while that's great and all, we probably will want to go over here. And remember we said we wanted our house to be offset and be on the edge of our village versus our house potentially being a problem. So what we're gonna do is like I said, I'm gonna leave this open, but we're gonna come set this over here and actually light water. Okay, so see, it reminds you that you need water. It will, but if you turn off the settings, it will not remind you. Now he will tell you I'm thirsty or something like that, and kind of give you a warning. Hey, I need a drink. Please listen to him. Please listen to him. Please listen to him. Especially if you don't have HP turned off, because, if you don't have your health turned off, then you're gonna have problems. You're gonna have a very massive problem pretty quickly. Just because you're gonna forget So here's what we're gonna do. A lot of people offset them off the side, which actually I am gonna do. I'm not gonna have it on our main road. We are gonna go ahead and do that one. Go ahead and do this one. Go ahead and do this one because I know it's fun. Why are you not wanting to? Okay. So we need straw. That is the only thing we have left to get on that. So we're gonna run down here. And these are berries. I know this the way they look, you know, everything else. They are used to be super easy to make you pretty wealthy in the game pretty fast. Not the case anymore. They are absolutely horrible in making you wealthy, and the amount of time you have to spend picking them is insane. So I would highly recommend you don't sit there and try to sit there and pick them and pick them and pick them, because it's not going to be worth your time. This is why I don't, if you notice, this is why I do not offset myself too far away from town, because a large majority of stuff is needed, at least in the valley, is needed close to town. So like the straw and stuff like that, like, but did you notice how we really need straw, right? So we're going to come through here and we're going to actually pick most of this straw, because you're going to need this as you build more and more houses, as you build more and more places for people to stay and be a part of your village. And like I said, I don't like cutting down the trees, so I try to get people in my village as quickly as possible to be lumbermen and axemen and stuff like that, to where I can start having planks and other things like that, logs and all that as a part of it. And I'll kind of show you how we set it up to where they're producing what you need at the very beginning, and then that way you have plenty of extra as the time goes on, because you're going to want that. You're going to want the extra. You're really going to struggle if you don't. So we're going to go ahead and get that set up, and okay, we're going to go ahead and leave those for next time, but we seem to have plenty right now, so we'll come up here and finish building the little wood thing. Now, what I will tell you is a lot of people are like, oh, I want my houses in all different locations and areas within my village. Does that make more sense? It does not make more sense. Put your work area together. Like, that's my preference. That's the way it's always been. Okay, I will tell you, in order for them to work on a shed, they have to have access. So what you're going to do is you're going to come over here, and I can build 10, so I am going to build 10. And the reason being for that is, it is not worth your time to sit there, and you're going to want to, so you're going to grab the stone axes, grab this, and put all 10 over in that. That gives them the ability to produce things. Okay? Remember how we talked about that you need multiple buildings and stuff like that and everything else, and that we said we were going to do like a fishing hut down here and stuff like that. You're going to want to continue to do that, but then you also need to make a decision on where you want your houses. So for me, I'm thinking we'll let all that be production that direction, and we'll see if a road is unlocked. A road may not be unlocked. Oh, no, it is unlocked. Cool. Okay. So, this is when you reach in here. And we'll see how that looks. Okay, so that looks okay. So that's not... Now, what I will tell you is I like to give my houses like a front yard per se, like my people's houses, like a front yard. So, and I know that's a little strange. Like, I do know that's a little strange, but I give wattle houses I don't mess with. So we'll see if we can put one in here. If not, that may mean that we have to like building site. So okay, so it is blocked. My guess is that it's blocked by a, let's see. why that one's blocked, but I didn't really want them to be, and I wanted them to be offset. Okay, so it is these two right here that are the problem. Well, we may actually be able to, hang on. I may not have to do the wall now. Okay, so it is the tree. So this is what we're gonna do. As much as I don't want to do this around my houses, I'm gonna have to. So is what it is. Like I said, there are different things that you can do to benefit your village and stuff like that. Make it look a little bit more, a little bit more habitable, and make it look like a real village. It's unfortunate. Also, something else you'll notice is the spruce trees I've been cutting down only give you 3 logs versus 4. So the reason for that is due to different trees will give you different things. So okay, because we want him to have more of a, okay, so then this tree is gonna have to, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this one top down. See, that was a spruce. So the spruces are only gonna give you 3 logs. So 1, 2, and 3. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab that. So there we go. And because I see some more else, we're gonna go ahead and grab these while we're at it. Okay, cool. And the shovel will go ahead and knock out the okay, so go ahead and do that. Okay, because we know we want it to be offset to where they have more space, because I'm not building stuff, at least for me, I'm not building stuff for just, like, just to build stuff. I'm building stuff to make sure that, like, they have space, and they have, like, different things like that, where they actually feel like they're a part of, the village. Now, in saying that, do they really care? No, they don't really care, but we'll go ahead and build as much as we can on this, and then on our next video, we will finish the house, or I will go ahead of this, okay. Yeah, so you have to be very specific with this middle one. It's just really annoying really fast, but it is what it is. Okay, so that is what we have done, and then in the next video, if I don't go ahead and do it outside of time, we got the wood shed built, and we will get that rest of that house done off camera more than likely, and we'll get that done, and we have made it back to our house, and we will go ahead and eat something before we go, and then we'll just see you in the next one. But let's go ahead and get something to eat. Okay, and actually I need to go get water before nighttime is fully hit, and I've got water. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Oh, great. That's not appreciate at all. Okay, we're gonna get back on that. Okay, guys. And we will see you in the next one. Remember that you are loved, you are cared for, you are important. And if you want to give me a like and a subscribe, hit that notification bell for my next one. I will be doing a daily video for the next however many days it takes to finish the valley. And if you want to watch our homestead family videos, I will put a link in the description, and you can go over there and check us out. But if not, this is the Adventure Club Life, and I will see you in the next one.